All right, we are live. So hello and welcome everyone. This is Sonia Line here in New Brunswick, Canada, and I have Brianna Dewitt from Nebraska, who is sitting here with me today. We are so excited. We're going to be talking about a very dear topic to me that I was able to bring lots of good and bad to my life with. And I'm actually going to let Brianna talk a little bit as I go and share this in our groups. So say hello when you're coming in, whether you're watching live or the replay. Brianna, girl, take it over for a few minutes and I'll be right back.
All righty. Hello, everybody. Happy High Frequency Thursday. My name is Brianna and I'm coming live to you from Omaha, Nebraska, here in my home. And we're doing another episode this week. I think last time we talked, it's been like 5 months that we've been doing this. So if you are familiar with our videos, thank you so much for sticking with us, coming to say, hey, letting us know how you're doing and your feedback on these amazing topics that we have been covering. Before we get too into the subject this week, I want to hear from you guys and just give you a chance to sign on, get comfortable, say hello to us, let us know where you're watching from, like Sonia said, and let us know, more importantly, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you ready for another episode of High Frequency Thursday? I have one of my favorite books. I believe it's one of Sonia's favorite books too, with us today, The Secret. We're going to be talking about manifestation, the law of attraction, and really what all of that means is how to change your thoughts and how important your thoughts and your emotions really are in your daily life, and how you can be causing things you don't want to manifest just as easily as you could be manifesting things that you want intentionally. So I want to talk about that and just let you know, it's as simple as you make it. And once it clicks, it really clicks. And so I want to inspire you guys and give you some knowledge directly from The Secret. So Sonia, before we crack this book open, how in the world are you doing today?
I'm using a lot of boxes today. You know, those boxes you put things away for either they take care of themselves or you'll react to them later. I'm just practicing a lot of that. Just did a meditation. I took a bath, used some bath salts. I lit up some candles, and then I had a Palo Santo stick. I also saged. I've been doing I took 4 crystals for helping with PMS, endometriosis, and the time of the month, because I've been feeling a little bit more of these symptoms. And I got to say, within like 20 minutes, they're gone. So, and
That's
of
awesome.
course I do have other things that I do and have supplements and vitamins and that, but I thought I would try just the crystals today. And I was excited to share that with you, but I've had to up my own advice. So hopefully that everyone has, who's been joining us and has taken some of our advice, or even, sometimes you have to do the things, you try to be lazy, or you're like, oh, I'll do it later. Don't do it later, because this week's energy is intense. And I feel a lot of other people. I feel like a lot of things, but they're not mine. I'm like, this is not me. This is not if I'm feeling a little bit of stress right now, or I'm having thoughts. So I had to ground myself and protect. And I feel that I love what we're doing. I got to say, it's so helpful, like from the Happy, Healthy, Wealthy Journey group that we started, sharing all of the tools and then doing this, because otherwise I don't know how I'll be dealing with this week. So I'm balancing it, and got to do that. So everyone else who's balanced in their lives right now, and just, even if you're struggling, because I know a lot of people right now this week, they are struggling. There's lots of stuff going on. It feels like every week there's different things going on in the world, and some parts might be more intense. So we're going to send love. So I know we're going to get to our manifestation topic, but what about you? How about you? How is your week going? And people watching, please let us know, whether you're live or in the comments, how is your energy this week? Have you been using the tools, grounding yourself and taking deep breaths, being aware of all of that?
I have been really challenging myself to take my own advice and up my own advice, like you said. Sometimes when you get stuck in your ways and you stop, you have to remember to pause and to stop and to use those tools that you have to remind yourself of your own power and not get lost in the madness. It's just so easy to do that. I've been working on my meditation. I've been working on my manifestation. I've been reading a lot. And those are the ways that I have been keeping myself okay and even better, you know, than I take time every day now intentionally instead of making myself tired and worn out. And then I eventually have to succumb to that. And like, I need to lay down. I do it before I feel like I have to now. Like I give myself that reward, that time for rest, and really working on not feeling guilty for it, not feeling like there's something else that I should be doing. One thing that helps me with that is just to set a time limit on it. If you give yourself an hour, give yourself 2 hours, whatever you feel like you need, that's helpful. And then you can switch back to whatever you need to do. Two things I wanted to ask you, what were the crystals that you used, Sonia? And second of all, I wanted to say that yellow looks lovely on you and you look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I actually took a picture, but I know there was amethyst, carnelian, agate, and unakite, the green and orange type.
Yeah, the green and orange. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a big amethyst chunk in front too. So I actually had double the amethyst. So this was on my little bath caddy. You know, I had my running water next to it, and I had that there. So yeah, and I don't know, like I didn't say I'm going to take a tower and I'm going to take this. I was like, okay, I'm looking for this specific kind. So in my mind, whatever shape that it was, and however, just putting them besides the running bath water and me visualizing that my body was just letting go of everything. And I seriously, my cramps is gone. So I'm like, woo, you know? So yeah, those were the 4. And I Googled it. I could have messaged you to ask too, because I'm sure you would have came out with that. But I was wishing, and I'm like, you know what? I'll test it out. But yeah.
That's awesome. And that's practicing intent as well. So that is a good segue to the topic that we're talking about, manifesting. You manifested by using your intent and then changing your emotions. You took the time to rest and to relax and rejuvenate and to intentionally pick out crystals that were going to help you. And it worked because you believed that it was going to work, right?
I did. And I knew it would, right? Like it's when you understand the power of belief, it's crazy the things that your mind will actually achieve when you let it, because you believe every single day what you tell yourself, you believe it. So for me, and I've been teaching that to a lot of people around me, including my kids. So sometimes my son says something, I'm like, yeah, if that's what you think, sure. If you truly believe it, that's the truth. I'm not going to argue with you because that's what you put in your mind.
Right. You've already made up your mind. Yep. And I teach my kids the same thing too. I know you saw this status I posted a couple days ago about Hudson, our 8, almost 9-year-old, teaching his sister the law of attraction. And he used those words.
Yeah.
The law of attraction. That she was saying, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to make this.
Right.
You know, they were playing some like bowling game on the Nintendo. And she switched her mind, and she must have told herself that she was going to make it, and she did. And she ended up accomplishing what she wanted to get. And I thought that was so cool. I wish someone would have taught me that when I was 8 years old. Right. Like, and so it really makes me smile and makes me feel good that all of this work that I've been doing, I am bettering my children's lives at the same time and expanding their minds, because you are a product of the things that you think and the things that you have on repeat in your mind. And sometimes those aren't always the best things. And I know it's not easy to change your mind, especially after however many years of living the same way and repeating those same thoughts. There's really a lot of science behind it too that I'm coming to find out. I am a big fan of science, and it helps me understand things. And so understanding how emotions feed your body with chemicals, sometimes not the best chemicals, like stress hormones, and you get addicted to those. And so your body is craving drama because you used to give it to it all the time. And so it's like, hey, let's get riled up about something, you know, like let's get pissed off. And so your mind starts feeding you these scenarios and these things that it knows that you don't like, hoping that you'll grab onto it and take an anchor, and they can get that stress hormone. And, you know, like your body gets addicted to this stuff just as much as it can get addicted to feeling good. I mean, addicted's not like the best way to put it, but your body does seek those chemicals that it keeps getting over and over and over again. And when I realized that, I'm like, damn, I really got to change my mind. You know, like I have to think better, you know, thoughts become things. That's one of the main things that you can pull out of the law of attraction.
I keep hearing Bob Proctor when someone says thoughts become things. If you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. And you have to find a saying that, you know, rhyme, not like that clicks with you, and then keep saying that. Right.
He's actually on this page right here up at the top. The quote says, "See yourself living in abundance and you will attract it. It works every time with every person." And finding a part or a section of this book to read to everybody was hard because it's all amazing. The way that they wrote this, there's a lot of quotes in there, so you can find some things that click, like Sonia said. I am going to read a little bit about thoughts right here. Attract the good instead of the bad. The only reason why people do not have what they want is because they are thinking more about what they don't want than what they do want. Listen to your thoughts and listen to the words you are saying. The law is absolute and there are no mistakes. An epidemic worse than any plague that humankind has ever seen has been raging for centuries. It's the don't want epidemic. People keep this epidemic alive when they predominantly think, speak, act, and focus on what they don't want. But this is the generation that will change history because we are receiving the knowledge that can free us of this epidemic. It begins with you, and you can become a pioneer of this new thought movement by simply thinking and speaking about what you want. The law of attraction is a law of nature. It is impersonal and does not see good things or bad things. This is the important part. It is receiving your thoughts and reflecting back to you those thoughts as your life experience. The law of attraction simply gives you whatever it is you are thinking about. When you focus your thoughts on something you want and hold that focus, you are in that moment summoning what you want with the mightiest power in the universe. The law of attraction doesn't compute don't or not or no or any words of negation. As you speak words of negation, this is what the law of attraction is receiving. I don't want to spill something on this outfit. The law of attraction is receiving, I want to spill something on this outfit and I want to spill more things. I don't want a bad haircut. I want bad haircuts. I don't want to be delayed. I want delays. I don't want that person to be rude to me. I want that person and more people to be rude to me.
Right.
And you get the idea. It goes over and over and over and over. It's not picking up the I don't want, or like, why do you get stopped at every stoplight on your way to work when you're already late or to an appointment or wherever? Because you're focusing on that. You're focusing on, I don't want that to be a red light. I don't want it to be a red light. Try, I want all green lights. Like, you can switch it. There is a positive and a negative side to every thought. And once you begin to really get into and slow your mind down and realize what you have going on in there, you can switch a lot of things and see your life change for the better. So Sonia, when you first learned about the law of attraction, where were you at in your life, and what did you do with that information?
I was at a very low point of my life, and I was actually transitioning. I was heavily medicated, trying to figure out like what my purpose is in this life. I was a new mom, and I found The Secret, the book, at a yard sale for $2, and I bought it, and I never opened it. And then someone I saw online posted about it, and I was like, okay. And then I saw a few people posting quotes, and it was like kind of that time it got popular. People were posting the secret quotes, and I'm like, there must be a reason. And I got to a lowest point of my life, and I'm like, you know what? I have nothing else to lose. So I went and I started reading it. I actually never finished The Secret. I'm French, dyslexic, and I had all like the distractions in the world. My brain wouldn't focus, but I was learning a little bit each and every time. I ended up getting the Audible. That's how I got to go through the whole secret. But I realized, and it was a hit in the face, that a lot of the hardness in my life, I attracted it. As much as I believed that I would have a beautiful life and I'd be helping the world, I've always felt that I would make a difference in this world, an impact. And I've always knew that financial situations wasn't long-term. Like I went through financial hardships, but I also knew that wasn't going to be a problem in my life, nor was like, I knew there were solutions. I just needed to put all the dots together. And I was trying to also create a new life because I was understanding that the system that we were in, I was trying to look for help. So it's kind of crazy that one book really opened it up. And then another book that helped me to go further with this was Money and the Law of Attraction, which is some of the same authors and their friends, Hester Hicks, I believe, and another guy, I keep forgetting their names, but that book made me become a better mom. When it comes to parenting, a lot of parents, example, like when I was pregnant, oh, you're not going to sleep again. Oh, you're not going to see blah, blah, blah. And like, they were always negative. Like when you give birth, like they're going to give you the morphine, they're going to give you the epidural, they're going to give you this. You're going to shit when you're going to poop when you give birth. Like they were giving me all the.
I remember hearing that too.
And I was like, why? Like, why does it have to be like that? I'm like, and I'm stubborn. So I'm like, no, like it can be different. And I'm like, I'm going to sleep. And we had our first baby, which, oh my God, other than a few like sensitivities to products we don't use now, because we've learned the chemicals in it were affecting him. And he was just giving us signs. He wanted some real things, right? Not like man-made fake chemicals and products and that. So we learned that way. But for me, I was able to manifest, maybe not the delivery of my dreams, but I did with my second baby. It was almost my manifestation delivery. But I was also from situations and saying, okay, I'm here right now. If I do this again, I'm going to do it this way. But I manifested to not be the mom that would have a baby that don't sleep, that would have a baby that wouldn't listen, that would have like, because I'm like, it's not because they're putting that, and I'm very stubborn. If you tell me it's going to be that way, I'm like, it's not, like, unless I wanted to be that way. So I've always used law of attraction without really knowing it. But when I started reading the book, I was like, okay, so now I don't talk bad about myself. I used to laugh about myself all the time. I'm a lemon. And I do still say I'm dyslexic, left-handed, blonde, French, and Canadian. Those are all true. And I own it. And I love it. I've gone so far in life, even if I had these challenges and lots of more challenges. Yes, I was abused. Yes, I moved at 14. Yes, I was a drug addict. And those were the past, because now I'm healed. But for years, I was stuck, like, and that was my saying, my endometriosis would run my life. I thought I would not be able to have kids. And then one day, and another example, when the doctor called me and told me that my baby might have trisomy 21, like the Down syndrome. And they scared the heck out of me for a whole month. Me and my husband were having all these crazy conversations. And I'm like, my body would tell me, like, there's no way. I mean, look at Mika. You know what I mean? He's the healthiest kid that I've seen and been around. Like, so it's more important now than ever to put in your brain what you want to believe. because what we have been told, what we have been seeing on TV and in the movies and in the songs and in, you know, everywhere, the news, it's making you want to manifest being poor, manifest being fat, manifest being unhealthy, manifest fear, manifest wars, manifest all of the dark stuff that we shouldn't be. Why isn't the news meditating with us every morning, making us dance? I had low energy earlier. I meditated and I'm like, I'm gonna wake up from my meditation and I'm gonna fucking jump. And I did. Now I was lethargic an hour ago, like, I've had a hard week, right? So yeah, this is me keeping it real, because I do feel that we need to get into a real conversation about it. And I hope I'm not scaring people away because of my intensity, but this week, that's how the energy is. Hopefully you need to hear this right now and catch yourself. I still have bad thoughts. I still wake up and I say things about my body and I think about, but I change it. One positive thought is so powerful. It will over push all the negative thoughts you've had. So, and my big tip is my I Am app. I use an app called I Am, and I set it up for every hour to send me one affirmation. So it catches me off guard, whether I'm having a good day or not. And sometimes I really need it. And then I repeat it. I sometimes post it. I share it with my family. So let's continue. I'm sure, I know you've got notes, but I just wanted to add that you need to add yourself tools to remind yourself every day. And if you're like me, I needed to be reminded every hour for a little bit. Now I do it naturally, but they say for 21 days before you get a habit going, you know, might as well set an alarm on your phone. Everyone has cell phones these days, so you don't have no excuse to say I forgot, because if it's important to you, you will schedule it into your life. So maybe you need that app, I Am, right? What about you?
Yeah, I Am is a great app. I did have that on my phone for a while. I need to re-download it. I really do, because it's that pause that I'm talking about, where even if it is just for a brief moment, you read that positive affirmation, your brain receives it, and then your body creates good chemicals. You feel good when you read that. And you have to remind yourself every so often. And I've been doing it. I've been getting better at doing it, like directing my thoughts on my own, but it is so much nicer to just have a random, you know, affirmation come in. So I'm going to download that afterwards. And I was really starting to think, when you're talking about the society and culture and the news and social media, wanting us to think about being broke, unhealthy, about war, about things that are not good, and they disguise them as jokes.
Right.
I see a joke going around about World War III, you know, like it's not, if you said that, if you typed it, like, this is what I'm manifesting, people would be like, what the hell is wrong with you? But if you're joking about it, you know, like, they're getting you to manifest this shit when you're not even realizing it. And that's why the secret is not a secret. The secret is the law of attraction. The secret is to change your thoughts and to attract what you want in your life. I sought out The Secret. Just like you, I had heard about it. I knew there was a lot of good stuff. I ignored it when I first heard about it. I don't want to say that I like actually consciously ignored it, but I was, what I see now, receiving signs being like, hey, you should read this. You should read this. I was like only 18 or 19 when this book came out, I want to say. And so of course I was not on that wavelength. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That was back when I thought all of this stuff was just ideals that people were holding and things that were not obtainable to your average person. I thought it was something much more complex, something that would take a lot of effort to grab onto. But if you have your mind open, once I learned, you know, like, it is a hard thing to swallow when you're told, hey, all these shitty circumstances in your life, you brought that to yourself.
That's harsh.
Because if there was something that I was sure of when I was younger, that I could get what I wanted.
Yes.
I could get what I wanted. Call it, determination, stubbornness, whatever it was, whatever I set my mind to and I wanted, I got it. I did. And not always were those things good for me. Were they going to be serving my highest good? Very rarely were they actually back then. And then, so when you can translate that power and redirect it into what do I want? What you realize that just treading water, staying in the same place, and just staying afloat and just surviving and never really making any big strides in one direction or the other, life gets old.
Yep.
Really fast. It does. And you start focusing on other people's lives and ways to distract yourself from this misery that you don't want to acknowledge. And that's exactly where I was. And I got tired of my own shit. I got so depressed and hit a wall. And I knew that I had to seek out new ways of life, new information, new thought processes. I knew that my brain needed some rewiring. And once I finally accepted who I am and how I became to be this person, that's when I realized that I could heal that person as well. I had to accept her first, even though she wasn't who I, wanted to be, but realize the potential and grab onto that and find the positive and actually define what it is that I want out of this life. Who do I want to be? Where do I want to live? I'm still very much in the middle of a lot of those things right now because I have gotten through a good portion of the healing. I have sought out psychic mediums to do past life things that we have healed, different attunements to heal different elements of your soul. I actually just did hypnotherapy last Saturday, and so that was really cool. One of the things that I had suggested was drink more water. Like, that's the information that I received. It was like, I was wondering how to increase my energy levels and just overall have more energy and feel good. And the direct piece of information I was given was drink more water, like immediately. And I was like, yep. And it can be as simple as that. It really can, like you have to start small things turn into big things when you put the intent behind it. And your potential is really endless. But if you tell yourself the same things over and over again, you're going to be recreating that past version of yourself. You're never giving yourself an opportunity to become someone new or think new things when you're spending all of your energy on the past or worrying about the future. And so that is one thing that I have learned, is to really focus on being in the present moment. Focus on what you can do with that energy that you have available to you. Release the stored energy in your body. I'm still working on that every single day. I am a trauma survivor. I had a terrible childhood, and that really messed my body up. It did, and that was one of the things that I had to accept. Like you said about endometriosis, you thought that was going to control your life. Well, I ended up with fibromyalgia. And I was diagnosed with that at like 23. And most people receive that diagnosis in their 40s, 50s. It typically is known to be something that, will manifest later on in your life. Well, if you live through hell for the first however many years of your life, it's going to come a lot sooner than that. And really what it equates to is holding on to these emotions, this like emotional residue in my body from all of the things that have happened in my life. And unless you intentionally let that go, work on your chakras, work on your energy. And it starts here, like where your mind takes you, your body will follow. And when you can stop letting your body take control of your mind, you can find the difference there, like that you're not just on autopilot stumbling to the coffee machine when you first wake up, because that's what your body wants. Your body wants that caffeine, but your mind can intercept that whole process and that program and stop and get a cup of water first, like it's the small changes that really show me what is possible on a very large scale. And I have been working on manifesting my future and reading a ton. And so I recommend that you read this, you watch it. It's on Amazon. There's a documentary. It has all these amazing people in the book featured in there. One of them being Bob Proctor, our favorites. He really had a way with words and just putting it out there, just not sugarcoating it at all. The other book that I have been reading is called Becoming Supernatural. I don't think you could see it. It's blurring it out.
There you go.
By Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Nice.
Yes. If you have not read this one.
Yep. No.
Have you?
I haven't read anything from him yet. I know I will learn from him, but it's someone that's been like, it's on my list of people. I've been hearing a lot more this year from him. Yeah. He's
very scientific. And so I really enjoy that, but he also puts it straightforward in a way that you can understand it. But talking about how to manifest by using clear intention and elevated emotions. So that's, he puts it in a way that other people have said it too. You have to clearly define what it is that you want and then how you're going to feel when you have it.
You can't just say, I want to be rich. I want to be healthy. Why? How? Like, what are you going to do when you're healthy? What are you going to do when you're wealthy? You have to feel it. When you watch a movie and you get goosebumps, or a song and you get like, you have to feel that excitement. If you start looking like at a 30-second video walking on the beach, maybe like at your resort, or like, how does that make you feel? And like, for me, I felt one day I'll be a lady wearing makeup. One day I'll, there's a lot of things in my life that I said one day I will. And I want to show you this. This is Lisa Nichols. I got to meet with her last year. She's actually in The Secret. She's an amazing soul. And I just thought I would bring that up. That's so great to be hugged. And I gave her a crystal, that heart blue crystal I got last year at convention.
That's awesome.
At the leadership retreat. So I gifted her that. She was going through a lot with her mom, and she was planning a wedding, and I got to talk to her, and I'm like, this is just beautiful. Like, and you feel these people are real. So most of the successful people I've learned from or met, or, am watching, they have that in common. It's The Secret. Like, none of them have seen bash it or say that's not true. I want to say two more things. I have to go in a few minutes. I have a French presentation very soon. But there's a quote I read, or somebody posted that this week. There's no better time to win right now, because so many other people are focusing on losing, on the price of gas, on this, on that, on negative, like I shared earlier. So if you are a person that knows you deserve winning, there's so much room right now in abundance that you can attract, and you need to be that person, because there's other people who are confused, who may be looking to change, but you don't have to, you can't care what other people say, thinks, and you just have to do you. That's my tip. And the last thing I want to say, Mullein. Do you guys know what the Mullein plant is? Maybe Pam can talk about that if she hasn't talked about it yet. But the Mullein plant is a plant that grows in rocks on the side of the roads. They have little like shoots of yellow flowers on it. They have big leaves. Mullein, for me, was a weed. Go Google that shit. Mullein is actually used for the lungs. It's used for so many things. And I was looking for about a month. Me and my husband were driving around looking in the ditch. And I'm like, one day we'll find it. So 2 days ago, we found 3. So now I'm a proud owner of 3 wild weeds. And then when we went on our date last night, I saw about 100 of them, because I manifested seeing them. Now I'm going to keep seeing them all the time. So I challenge you to find a flower, or it can be a car that's yellow or anything, and see how often you see it afterwards once you've put it in your brain and you've actually believed in it. So that was maybe a little, I don't know if this is a tip or just an example, but I thought it was kind of cool. And now I keep seeing them everywhere. And this is how, like, we're learning every week about a different weeds that we can go and bring in our yard, or we can make stuff that can help. So a lot of people were using some stuff from over the counter, and I instead found a solution with mullein oil, which a lady was making it. I buy from her, but now that I know where to find the plant, hey, I'm going to try on my own. I wanted to share that little bit of information. Yeah. It was Manifestation 101.
It's a perfect example. It really is. Ask, believe, and receive. That is the last thing that I want to say. And that's really as simple as it is, you know, like, you are your biggest obstacle. Your mind frame is your biggest obstacle. But if you can say and figure out what it is that you want, just like I said before on like a long time ago on one of these episodes, you sit down at a restaurant and you ask for exactly what you want. You don't feel bad. That's why you're there, right? You ask for exactly what you want and you get what you want. If you don't ask for what you want, don't be surprised when you don't get, or when you get something that you don't want, you know? That's the best example that I can, you know, don't feel bad about wanting more for yourself and asking for exactly what it is, because the energy will match. You will draw that stuff.
Don't feel guilty.
You will draw those circumstances to you.
Be excited. Someone loses weight, you want to lose weight, be excited for them. If you see someone succeeded, be excited for them. Because if you're like, why them, not me? You're just pushing your success further, your weight loss further. You have to let go of that and truly live in the moment. Stop comparing yourself. And I know we could go over and over, but this is maybe next week topic we could go over how to let go, and maybe a part 2 of this, and talk a little bit more about vision boards, because I know we wanted to talk about that. And
I'm going to make one in between now. And so hold me to that. I need to, I want to print pictures out of the house I'm going to live in 5 years from now, so I can feel like I'm already there.
We'll do a vision exercise next time. I did a little private training for our partners in business last week about vision. So I'll do a little like recap of that. How about we do that next Thursday and start with that, and then we can talk about the vision board. Anyone else feel free to do their vision boards and share with us. I see some comments in here. Melody asked for the book. So Brianna, go and comment in the comments, please. I know she always goes in the comments once we're done. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, whether you watch live or replay. Make sure to breathe, use the tools, and we always love reading your feedback. So Brianna, closing word, girl?
Nope, just thank you for being here, and I hope you have a lovely Thursday.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye.